Hey guys, it's time to make some money with NFTs. Aurory has been such a great game to earn from recently, and we all know they got a PvP event coming soon. So, I thought to myself, it's best to tell you guys the best nifties to buy and use in Aurory's Blitz game mode, so you're all ready for this event coming up, as there's something you got to learn. Better the nifty, the more you earn. So stop losing every single game and get ready to start winning more. But enough of me speaking, it's time to tell you guys the best nifties to use in Aurory. So what we're going to do is basically break everything down into a top 3. And what I'm going to do is, I'm going to tell you why this nifty is overpowered, and also tell you the best matchups and the worst matchups. So starting off, in the 3rd position, we've got Sabertooth. And this is a monster of a nifty. And if you've used him or come up against him, you know how overpowered this monster is. But before we get into all his combos and his abilities, we have to talk about his stats, because he's one of the tankiest nifties in the game, enough said. And his abilities on top make him even tankier, and pretty much no monster can OTK him unless some magic happens like a crit. And that's the thing, with his tankiness, you can make him even more tanky with his abilities, because you can either shield up, which keeps you alive for longer, and generally with the shield you can defend yourself against most electric attacks, and that's his weakness. So if you can't get OTK'd by your weakness, that just shows how overpowered he is. But we're just talking about the sustained battle from Sabertooth, because he has all these abilities and great stats for it. But also he has great offensive abilities and stats, because his buff and debuff move can be used in 2 different ways. You can use it to protect yourself, or you can use it to go on a full offense. And you can pretty much OTK any monster if you combine the buff with his big move. That's what I mean about his balance shift ability. It's so overpowered, and if you use it right, you can win so many games. And that's the thing with Sabertooth. If you use him well, he's super easy to get wins. But let's talk about his big move for a minute, because even without the buff, it can pretty much OTK any low health nifty in the game. So I'm talking about the Dip Kings, not necessarily the Bite bit because it has a type advantage on it, but any monster when it has under 100 health, a lot of the time it's going to kill it. Before we move on from all his abilities, we need to talk about his water ability. He has 2 typings of attacks. He can go for wind or water, and that is massive, because with his balance shifts, which we talked about a lot already, he can pretty much OTK any fire nifty in the game, and that's amazing. And that's the thing with Sabertooth, because of his abilities, he can put up a fight against pretty much every single nifty in the game, and that's why he's so overpowered. But he's only in the 3rd position, so there's so many more powerful nifties that we're going to talk about today. But first, let's get into his matchups. So let's talk about his good matchups, and we've already talked about it. The fire monsters in the game are no problem for Sabertooth. Number 9, Sheba, they literally die in the second round quite easily. And another monster it does really good against is Dino, and that goes without saying, because he has the type advantage on him, and on top of that, his damage move takes away shields, and Dino's big focus is staying alive, sustained battle with shield and having high health, but Sabertooth gets around that so easily. Like I already said, Sabertooth does so good against every single nifty in the game, but these 3 here, they really can't pop a fight at all. Now it's time to talk about the nifties that do quite well against him. And it's going to be the electric ones. So the dragon, it does really well because it can shield up, it does a double attack, and it does very well against him. And on top of it, the new monster, Unicorn, he's really good as well because he does a lot of damage. And he affects the speed as well, which is kind of bad for him because Sabertooth can do a lot of damage to him. But if you play that monster well, you can defeat a Sabertooth quite easily. Even that being said, Sabertooth can still put up a fight against these monsters. Maybe not the dragon, but he can put up a fight so you can maybe switch in to do well. But this is just the 3rd monster. Even though how overpowered we've talked about Sabertooth being, we've still got 2 more to go. So guys, you're probably wondering, why am I in different clothes? And the reason is, the team decided to make some changes to the nifties. And one of the nifties I wanted to put in to my list got changed, and that was Unicorn. So instead of Unicorn being in the 2nd position, Dino is going to be in the 2nd position, because he is king again, and let me explain why. Dino is quite literally one of the best tanks in the game because he has one of the best stats when it comes to being a tank, because he has the highest health out of all the nifties, and his defense is really good as well. And on top of that, his abilities allow him to be tankier because he has a shield. So he literally is the whole package for a sustained battle. So if you're coming up against a Dino, be ready for a long battle because this nifty can stay alive for ages. And you can think to yourself, oh, I got a type advantage, I'm gonna do so well here. No, Dino nerfs all types of things. Dino is so tanky, you will not actually understand until you go up against someone that knows how to use it. The thing is with Dino, he's not all about defense and health. I mean, it's a big factor in him. But the thing is, he has great offensive abilities as well. Because Vitality Strike, I have to break this down like really well to you guys, because this ability is so good in so many different situations that I don't think you realize how versatile this one ability is. But first of all, it's a neutral typing, and it's the only monster in the game that has a neutral typing move, and that means that it does the same damage against any nifty. Obviously defense plays a factor, but typing does not play a factor in this ability's damage, and that's absolutely great because that means this ability can be used on anybody. It's so hard to find an ability in the game that just works on everyone because type advantage is a thing. So this ability is so strong. The thing is, this move packs so much damage, and the reason is it attacks twice. Can you guys understand what that means? Is any dodges, counters, or anything it gets around, because it attacks once, and if someone dodges or counters, that's fine, that's perfectly fine, because it attacks again. So that means no matter what, as long as you've got more health than your opponent, you're attacking twice, and you're getting around people's abilities. And what other move really gets around other people's abilities? The thing is, that's me explaining how tanky the monster is and how good it is at being the lead. But that's not the only thing it can do. It's an amazing switching monster because all its moves are low hype, and that means it's very easy for you to come into any game and use your big damage moves, which is Vitality Strike and your Earth move. So if you time your switching perfectly when a nifty is half health or low health, and you know that they're possibly not going to switch out, you can just throw in your Dino and he can come in with his max health. So he's obviously going to use his Vitality Strike, attack twice, and take out most nifties. That's the thing with this ability. I can break down this thing so many times and tell you so many instances it's great in, but I can't, so I have to move on. But did you not realize what I just explained there? It's not just a great lead monster, it's a great swapping monster. So Dino can be used in all instances. So if you want a monster to, like, if you're a budget player and you just want one monster to go and get to start off the game, Dinos are so versatile. But it's time for me to tell you the good matchups and the bad matchups, because I know you guys want to use Dino really well. So first off, let's talk about a good matchup. And it goes without saying, any electric nifty dies instantly. So I'm talking Draco, I'm talking Unicron, I'm talking Bite Bit. These monsters here, Dino absolutely puts the paws on them and literally stomps on them. The thing is with Draco, each round it's going to lower its defense. So if you time your Earth move well, you can possibly OTK the Draco. And with Bite Bit and Unicron, they don't really have much health. So one Earth move most likely will kill them as well. Another sneaky monster it's really good against is Axo, because Axo's big move is electric, and Dino obviously resists this pretty well. And also, any reflex that Axo has and counters are great and all, but Dino gets around them with Vitality Strike. So this is what I mean, Axo really does get bullied by Dino, because its kit just counters it so well. These are just the few nifties I wanted to pick at that were really bad against Dino. But now it's time to tell you the nifties that you want to use if you're coming up against him. When it comes to the monsters you want to use against Dino, obviously you want to use the wind monsters, but maybe don't use Zoo. So for me, Recoin, Sabertooth, these are your go-to monsters when you're up against Dino, because Dino cannot do anything when it comes to Sabertooth sustain, And on top of that, Recoin's damage on its big move might not kill it, but it will set it up to die the next round. Another sneaky monster that you won't realize that beats it is Unica. Because the way how Unica's sustained battle works, Dino can't put enough damage on the board to be able to kill it. And then it gets to the point where Dino doesn't have enough health to be able to hit the Vitality Strike twice. And when that happens, the Unica is definitely gonna hit you with its big move and you're gonna die. And that's the thing, Unica was really good before and it's been nerfed. Even after it's been nerfed, it can still hurt Dino pretty well. Even though I said these monsters can easily beat Dino, any experienced Dino player may play really well and make it hard for you. But I've talked about the second best monster in the game now. It's time to talk about number one. So, we talked about some great nifties today, but now it's time to talk about the number one, the best nifty in Aurory, and that is Draco. And in reality, if the dragon in the game wasn't the best nifty, I'd be shocked. But Draco is basically the big bully in Aurory, because it does not care about type advantage or anything, because its combo is very straightforward. There's nothing you can do against it. All you can do is dodge. But then the player, the minute you dodge, you're going to start doing the Scorching Bite in a random turn. It won't be on the third turn. And that's the thing with Draco. He can be your lead, so starting the game, and then he can buff and attack and either OTK or do a big chunk of damage, and then he'll force your opponent to switch. Then Draco can either stay in, do more damage, or you can choose to switch out and then you know the type advantage, so you can go and easily win the game. But the thing is, he's not just a great lead, he's an amazing switch-in, because if you've got enough hype for him to be able to do his buff move and one Scorching Bite, he can come in and either sweep and kill an opponent, or come in and do really well and maybe OTK a full health opponent. I can't talk about how many games I came in and a monster had half health and all I needed was that type advantage. And then Draco came in and done the damage I needed to win the game. That's what I mean. This one nifty can either be the great monster for you to start the game, or after you've done your battles, it could be the great nifty to switch in for you to win more games. But that's the thing, even though I'm talking about his ultimate combo a lot, it still has another play, which is going for the electric move, which is you can get a shield and then you get a more shield and you attack twice. And also, I feel like some people forget, the shield comes with a defense buff. So this is a great little sustained battle for the monster, but for me, I don't use it much and not a lot of people do unless they're going up against a win monster. But most people just literally go hype, Scorching Bite, and just generally kill everything with this monster. That's the thing with Draco, he's so overpowered. Like literally during the event, it was so hard to beat him. And now we got him, it's so hard for your opponents to actually beat him if you use him correctly. But it's time to get into its matchups. The good ones and the bad ones. I know you guys may need some help when it comes to the bad matchups. Or maybe not. Starting off with its good matchups, we got Recoin, which is a problem nifty for a lot of people. But for Draco, it's just another day in the office. Because it's got its electric moves, and also to do that combo, you need to get a shield, so you're always protected when Recoin goes for its big move. But on top of that, any plant monster needs to run away from Draco, because its combo ends in a Scorching Bite, which is a fire move. Even though it's electric nifty, its best move is a fire move. So Tokane, Blotchoy, them monsters die and just can't really do much against it. But this is just me singling out a few nifties. But like I said, Draco does so well against a lot of people. If you play him right on the switch in, he basically kills everyone very easily, with not a lot of hype. But it's time to get into its bad matchups, which is going to be obvious. Any rock monster, so Dino, Unica, these things here do really well against it. And the problem with its buff move is it lowers its defense. So these two monsters here might just OTK the dragon in the right situation. The thing with Draco is so overpowered that the only way you can beat it is having a type advantage. And if you play well, be smart, that's not going to be a problem for you, because Draco would have done bits already and you can switch out and win the game. But for me, currently, these are the best 3 nifties in the game. But if you think I'm wrong, comment below your favourite nifties to use in the game. All I can say is, make sure you don't play me in Aurory Blitz mode, But all I can say to you is you're going to hold this L. Well, that's it, guys. Now you know how to get easier wins in Aurory. And that's because you know the best nifties to use now. So stop using the bad ones. So get out there, start playing some more PvP and increase that win rate. But that's it from us for today. So remember, be a shark in this world, not a whale. And we're going to see you guys next time.